This is a demo of using Entodicton to write a simple D&D kind of app. I'm going to copy the tutorial and just start with that. So first I need to change the parameters to whatever my subscription is. So server name. Get the key. Yay. Board will just be 80. Now we'll just try running it to make sure I'm running against the my subscription. It goes slow the first time because it's training the neural nets. Okay, so that worked. So now let's start on our app. My daughter had a boyfriend once that did LARPing, live action role play, and I thought that was funny. So then I started calling her D&D PARPing, pretend action role play. Okay, so I don't really have a plan for what I'm doing. I'm just going to like try stuff and see what happens. So we'll have players. It'll be a D&D kind of game. There'll be players. So let's try the sentence. Who are the players? So I added some players, whatever. That's the global state that is passed in when you do the queries. So the semantics and the, oh wait, this is, so now what I'm doing is setting up operators, and this is what this is defining. So when I put the square braces around, that defines an operator. The thing before the bar is the ID, and the thing after is a list of words that map to that ID. And yeah, so set up person that way. So now those are operators that have zero arity. So now I want them to be operands. So I surround them with the parentheses. And then I want this to be like R is followed by the players. And so that's why I have the parentheses around that, or the parentheses, whatever, the square brackets around the, because it's now a prefix operator that's going to apply to the player operator. Operators can evaluate to operators in the generalized operator precedence model. So now I'm going to do an infix operator. So I surrounded the who and the player with the parentheses to indicate they're the operands. I'm going to run it again. Is that what I'm doing? And I'm figuring out what the error is. I just didn't have the parentheses matching. Oh, right, the whole thing has to have one around it. Okay, go. Okay, so now it's detected I'm referencing operators that aren't defined in the words, whatever, and the bridges. So we'll just clean this up. A bridge takes, so when the thing runs, it has a list of contexts, and each context is a property bag, and the bridge maps from one context to another context using stuff that looks like JavaScript, but it's not. I parse it in Python, but it's the same kind of thing, just with less capability. So I'm going to set up the player, the person concept. To get typing in, I was doing this. You don't actually have to do this. You could just not even have, you could just say players without anything and no concept, and it can figure stuff out. But with this way, it has better typing when it in like a complicated system. So what the bridge is for the person concept, player concept, and the concept. We'll just take and map the current context to the next context, and it'll bump up the level. So each operator has an ID and a level. And as you apply the operator, it goes higher in level number. In this case, I don't have anything beyond that, where I'm doing a level 1. So I'm going to define to be. To be, it's just going to have like the thing before and the thing after. So I'll just call that subject and object. And in here, there's special keywords. Operator refers to the current operator, like the to be operator. And I'm just doing a spread on that. And then there's a before variable and an after, which is just the stuff before the operator and the stuff after the operator, because it's operator precedent. So it's really just the args to the function call. Yeah, so we'll run that. Oh, I got to clean up the words maybe. Ugh, not all that. Sorry, I'm recording the audio after I did the video because I couldn't get the audio to work. So I'm somewhat guessing what I'll do next. Yes, I deleted too much. Okay. Stop doing that. No, you can't get rid of it. Oh, I can? Oh, okay, so now I'll give that a go. And it's slow because it's training, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it didn't work, but it's not really enough info there to figure out why it didn't work. Oh no, I did the wrong sentence, sorry. Who are the players? That's the sentence I wanted to do. And I got to fix it down there because I was overriding what was in the other one. Just to trick myself, but I didn't. I remembered that I did that. Okay, try it again, slow because it's training, blah, blah, blah. And it failed. But you get more information now, so there's logs that help decide how you should, or what you should put in the associations or the priorities array. The page for the node module, Entodicton, describes how to do that. I'll probably put it somewhere else too, but I haven't done that yet. Not sure what I'm doing. Oh, I was like, oh, that's not enough information. So I actually paused it and then I added debug tracing, and then I couldn't remember what I called it, even though I just did it yesterday. But I've been doing a lot of code lately. Okay, there. So I called it debug. Now I'm going to run it, and it's going to print out the trace of what happens when the parser's running. It's really just taking a set of contexts and mapping it to another set of contexts by applying an operator for each mapping. Ugh. And there, oh, I forgot to print it out. I just turned on logging, but it's barfing out from the, so I'll go fix that. Yeah, now we'll add, now we'll print it out nice. There, so that's a trace. So the next op is the operator it's going to apply, and then the stuff after the context. Each hyphen is a different context. So it starts out the context correspond to words, but as you go on, it corresponds to phrases or sentences or whatever. So here we can see the problem. One of the problems I have why it didn't work is because this is an operator, and it's saying that it takes a person concept to the left and the concept to the right, but I don't actually want it to be that. I want it to be another person concept? No, a player concept over there. So that means the problem is when I defined here, I didn't do these the less than greater than notation. Oh, is that what I'm doing here? No. Okay, so that was what? What is wrong? Well, that's the wrong explanation. And I'm pausing. Oh, this is a bug. Right. Oh, so I'm going to fix this bug. That should have worked, but for some reason I had to put these other properties in, which I was going to do anyway. I just wasn't going to do it now. If you look in the demo, the base knowledge module for the demo, I show how to what I'm doing there. I did it with the definition of it. You can see that in there. Okay, so now I'm going to run it again. The DOS should have the player concept in it now. There, so you can see on number 2 on the last one, it's, now is that the right one? Yeah, player, the and the player concept combined into one node, and the type of the node is player concept and not the anymore, because we switched the to be a pass-through, which is the angle brackets. You actually define all this in the bridges. It's just easier to do it in this template thing, because it also generates test data for some of the neural nets. Yeah, that thing. Oh, so it wasn't working? Oh, right. This is the explanation I did before, where it has the wrong type for the verb. Oh, so now it got all the way through. So we got one context with the marker to be, and it has a subject and an object like we set it. Yeah, so I sort of develop stuff like this incrementally because it's too hard to know what's going to happen half the time. So I'm just going to print out the JSON. So I was only printing out the generated and the trace. Now I'll print out the JSON that comes back from the server. Okay, so you can see the JSON at the bottom. Oh, I didn't pretty print it. I'll pretty print it now. It's great how you can pause it and then go Google a bunch of stuff and then come back and go typity type. Anyway, this is just going to print. So that's the result that comes back from the server. And you can see like the traces from the thing are what I do when I'm debugging. So I didn't make them look like JSON. Okay, so we got that. So what was I going to do next? Oh, so if you look at the generator, it looks like crap because it's just printing out the JSON. So I think I went and added generators now. Did I? Yeah, so a generator takes a context and converts it to text. And you can do cool stuff with like genders and other languages. If you look in the base knowledge module from the website demo, I show how to do that. I haven't done enough of it to know if I have all of the functionality support that, but it's on its way. So I'm going to make a thing that says, when you see 2B, it's going to print out what? Whatever the subject is, blah. Get rid of those. Give it a go, see what happens. So now it has the is. You can see it's like barf of JSON is other barf of JSON. So we'll go and try and make the other things look nice too. So as I mentioned, I was doing this on the fly, so there's a lot of pausing and I'm thinking of, what should I do? I'm not sure. Let me think. So in this, the words are, if it starts with a space, it's a regular expression. And if it doesn't, it's just the text. It's because it's JSON. It ultimately goes to the server's JSON, even though here it's not JSON, it's JavaScript. So I had to keep the design JSON friendly. Oh, so I'm going to mark who with a is query, and then when the generator runs, it knows to put who as rather than person. I think that was that. Oh, and then so now it's pulled that from the word definition. It's defined twice, like one in the operators and one down here, but it combines them. Okay, so now we'll do a generator for person concept. The generators aren't ordered. They may look like, I originally was going to order them, but then when you do the combining of knowledge modules, there's no way to know how to order them. So they have to be written so they can run in any order. So you have to use specificity, I guess. So that'll, when you run that, that should now convert the JSON in the front part to who. So now you got who is, and then do the second one. Slowly do the second one. Oh, I was going to try and have it select is or are based on whether or not the number is many. I did that kind of thing in the base knowledge module demo too. So that's why I added number. It isn't currently being able to say is, but you could add a generator for is by having the number equal 1. Didn't work. And I'm like, why didn't it work? And it didn't work again. Should have worked. Oz. Oh, so I was trying to guess. I thought maybe I had a bug where the R was one R was overwriting the other one. But no, it still didn't work. Oh, so then this is a way you can use to debug this. I want to see why it's not matching if I add the and many. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stringify the context that's passed in and then take off the and many. I forgot to take off the add many. I'm slowly realizing I forgot to take off the add many. Hopefully. Yes, there, I thunk it out. I did the video this morning and the recording at night. Okay, so we're going to run it again, and then we can see what context is being passed in, so maybe we can guess why this thing is not matching. Still didn't work. Oh, yeah, it did work. So it barfed out, you can see it barfed out the whole context, and it looks like it should have worked. But it didn't work. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. At some point I realize it's a bug, Oh, wait, I'm doing something else. Oh, I guess I'm just doing player concept. You can do that many thing here too, for the thing to work. Oh yeah, at this point, oh no, maybe not. Huh. Yeah, at one point it took a really long time to run one of them. Okay, so who are the player? Obviously I'm Russian. I mean, this is a work in progress. So now what I want to do is try and like turn who are the players into actually looking up the players from that global array. So what I'm going to do is write semantics. That runs before the generator, and it works the same way, except what it takes in is a context and outputs a new context. So you can change stuff around. And you can look up stuff and insert new data in your thing, and then the generators or other semantics will later pick it up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take and I'm going to insert the players into the context that was previously generated that just said, who are the players? I'm going to shove the players in there. Wait, why did I type object? It should have been console.marker. Oh, okay, it's good. Good old runtime error. I'm just going to dump out the global so I can see the array so I know what it looks like. Oh, well, that was a... So I dumped out all the logging, so somewhere around there, that's the logging. Oh, maybe I got annoyed and turned the logging off. Let me try again. No. Oh, it didn't get in there. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so then I've discovered that object's an array. Oops. When I'm applying operatives, I tended to make everything turn into arrays, even if it wasn't, because it's easier to deal with it. So I should have selected the 0th object, and then that would have matched, the selector would have matched. Oh, and now I got it going into this, so Something else was wrong. Oh, I'm using Python. I write Python and JavaScript all the time, so I sometimes do the one and the other. Oh, I realized I forgot to set the objects incorrectly. Pass it into the global state. That's why I printed it off. Luckily, I'm having lots of errors so people can see how to handle errors, huh? That's where it detected that I did the Python command and not the node command. There, so I'm finding the players now in here, so now I can make use of this information. So I'm going to shove it in the context that's passed in. And then I'm going to change the generators to print out something different. Instead of who are the players, I'll change it to print out the players are blah, blah, blah. Because I'm going to change the context. I haven't done, in this demo, I'm not going to get all the way because I found a bug. And then I wanted to show the bug workflow. But ultimately, that's what it would do. So what I'm going to do is start on that. I'm going to shove the players into the current context. So later on, the generator can pick them up and do something fun. Or you could have another semantics pick them up and do something fun too, but I don't have a demo for that. So now when we run it, at the end, the context should have objects, and it should have the objects from the global array or global object. Yeah, so it passed it in, so, oh, actually I want to call it objects, but whatever. So you can see how it got shoved in the context after the semantics ran. So now we're going to go fiddle with the generators and see if we can make it say something using the information that's in the data structure. And again, this isn't finished. Oh, there, that's where I went and Googled starts with, because I couldn't remember if that was Python or JavaScript. Although it's not a Pythonic name. But some of the names in Python aren't Pythonic. So now I'm going to make it say first name of eye color. Just for fun, right? You could do something where you put a style of talking into the context and then put that in the selector. So then you can select, when you want to do a generate, you can select the style of talking and get different styles. It's the same way that languages, selecting different languages work. You can see that in the base knowledge module for the demo. There, so we ran it and it didn't work. I'm like, why did this not work? Why did this not work? It should have worked. And then I think it's a bug. After looking for a while, I think it's a bug because I'm pretty sure this should have worked. So what I thought I'd do is show the bug submission workflow, since I have something I think is a bug. So this is the page for the subscription. You can see there's bug submissions. If you press submit, it's going to take you to this page, which has a script that you use to submit bugs. You're going to submit a bug and you're going to tell me what you want the answer to be, and then I just fix it so it works if it makes sense. So this is just a node script. If you sync this Thintelligence project and do an npm install, then it should run from the command line. There's a description at the top what you do. You're adding 2 new properties, expected results and expected generated, which you can just get by running your thing and then copying them and shoving them in the file. Yeah, just copy them out of there. That's okay, because that's what I expect that to be. I mean, currently, in the future, I want it to be something different. Whoa, pasting in VI sucks. Let me use Nano to fix that. There, all fixed. And then we'll get the generated. This isn't what I want from generated, but I'm just copying it in so I get the right nesting stuff. Otherwise, the automated tests won't work because they're automated. This is where I realized that Aragon should have blue eyes and Bilbo should have brown eyes, I think. So I'll fix that up too. Anyway, so this is what I expect the generated results to be, even though they're not that currently. And I think I had the weights wrong too. Like the world's fattest Bilbo. Although it's still pretty fat for Bilbo, but whatever. Yeah, so this is the kind of config I need, and then the file has to be a certain format, so it just exports just the config, and the config has all the stuff in it. So we're going to go to this other directory. No, we're not. Oh, right. So I'm copying it to another file so I can rip it apart and make it look like what the program wants, which is basically just the config, all the config in one file, and no other stuff, and the module exports the config. Yeah, so this is an example that's in the bug directory of what the format of the file should look like. So I'm just comparing it and making it look like that. It's basically just export all the JSON for the config. So this is what I'm fixing. Whoa. Yay, it matches. I'll get rid of a lot of junk. And I was trying to remember what the args were. So I had my config thing set up. So now the next thing is you run this script against the config so that, and it'll run against your deployment. So it'll run through, it'll get to the point where it checks the expected results. And if they fail, then it'll submit it as a bug. So I'm just going to change this to be whatever is in my subscription. So subscription ID comes from there. And that's the, I think I screwed that up. That's the, oh, that's your secret key that I gave you when you bought the product. It's not that key. I was like, wrong. That is wrong, not that key. Yeah, so I'm going to put it in there, and that's going to be wrong, and I'm going to realize it later. Okay, so then this is... Oh, I realized it now. Okay, so we'll say, I don't think I end up showing you the key in the file because it's a secret one. So then we get the server name, which is where that numeric IP is server name. Somehow I can't delete. Oh, I think this is where I'm realizing I had the keys wrong. Yeah, see, the second one's the password. So you got that when you bought the product or the subscription. So I'm going to go shove the key in the right spot. And then this is the server for the Entodicton instance or load balancer. And this is the password for your, oh, okay, yes. This is the password for your subscription. And then I do the path to wherever I set up the config that I want to submit the bug for. And you can add a description. Forgot to put the key in. Go. Do it. What? Well, you see the password, but it doesn't matter. I redeployed it by now. Oh, I forgot to add a description. So I'm going to add a description for the bug, so when it shows up on my subscriptions page, I know which one it is. I think it's 256 characters. So now I run it again. It's running against my deployment, and then it went, so it didn't match. So it ran against your deployment, didn't match, went to submit a bug, then it failed. It turned out, I forgot, I wrote this code like 3 days ago, and then I forgot to deploy it to production. So that's why this is failing, but I'll go fix that. First, it takes me a bit to figure that out. I just want to double check that it didn't get submitted. No, it did not get submitted. So I'm going to hit pause and figure this out. Wow, I figured it out. I forgot to do the deploy. Oops. Now I'm going to do it again. Hopefully it'll work with the correct version deployed to prod. Yay! No, oh. Yeah, I set the maximum number of bugs to 3. But 3 unfixed ones. I don't know if I'll leave it at 3. Let's see how many bugs I get. Okay, so I upped the number, so now the bug thing works. So if we do a refresh, I'm not sure which refresh, some refresh. Does that do it? Just do it. It runs slow because the IP, the DNS lookup doesn't work good on my laptop. There, so now the bugs are submitted. Oh, I must have a bug where it gets submitted twice, so we'll look into that. Anyway, so there's the bug. The system's automated, so I can pick up the bug on my developer side and then I'll fix it.